Ohio. Welcome to the So Japanese podcast, a podcast about all things Japan from a
Japanese
and foreign perspective. We are your hosts. My name is John.
My name is Ryusuke.
Thank you for joining us today.
Arigato.
Thank you for listening, as usual.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that we have a Buy Me a Coffee link.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to support us, you can hit the link in our bio.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to become a Patreon member and get 2 street-level Japanese episodes a month, you can become a member. That would also help us out. Street-level Japanese, if you don't know already, it was a short segment sometimes in our podcasts, but it was getting well received, so we decided to make it a full, at least, 20, 30-minute podcast to teach you, share with you colloquial Japanese, maybe not commonly found in traditional learning methods.
From the textbook.
So, and from my experience, our experience, it's Japanese to help you sound more fluent. Check those links out, please.
Yeah. Or you can go back and then you can find out some street level Japanese segment. From one of the episodes.
So today's episode is about traveling. Ryusuke and I have both traveled abroad, multiple countries. And we think the experience we got from that, not only was it good, but I think necessary for like your life growth as a human. So this episode is kind of to convince our listeners, but because the podcast is so Japanese, more specific to Japanese people, why we think they should travel or live abroad more. Just because I think Japanese people, the country of Japan's unique enough where it's a weird situation where they're like a first world country, but yet they don't travel much,
Yes.
Japan has the best passport in the world. There's like passport rankings of which passports can travel to other countries visa free. And Japan is number one. It's been number one for a long time. I think 193 countries or something like that Japan can go to travel visa free. But only fewer than 20% of Japanese people actually have passports. So you have a great passport, all these opportunities to travel, visa free. That means other countries welcome you, but yet you're a country that doesn't take advantage of that. So just to give other statistics in other first world countries, for example, the US, 42% of their citizens have passports.
Almost half.
Australia, 57% of Australians hold passports.
More than half.
Canada, 70%.
Wow.
And the UK, 85%. Hold, so
I guess
it's a big difference, right?
Yeah. And I know my parents never had passport, never in their life, and then they won for sure.
Yeah.
They won't come.
No, like retirement travel.
No
It's
trouble.
not even like in their mind to do it.
No, because my dad already told me like I'm not coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say this 20% statistic is it true amongst your friends and family?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you not just your parents, because I guess that's like at a different level. Obviously, you want them to visit you, but do you kind of feel bad for your friends and family that haven't traveled, that has no passport? You kind of feel bad for them that they haven't experienced traveling or living abroad?
Because
the things that you've experienced, positive or negative, right? But necessary experiences that they will never experience. And it's not like a really crazy obstacle that can allow it for you to travel. You can gain experiences by traveling. You hop on a plane, right? Buying a ticket. It's not like crazy idea for you to travel. So it is doable, right? But do you feel bad for them? Like,
yes,
right?
Especially because I abroad when I was young enough, and I guess without that, my life is completely different. Then I don't know anything about outside of Japan compared to like I know something about world, not just Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I even like couple years before I decided to abroad, I never thought I gonna have passport.
Okay.
I was thinking that way because my parents never have. My parents never ever talk about like, do you wanna go Hawaii or do you wanna go like they're not that type of people. So
exactly.
My mindset is like, how come I gonna have passport and I don't know the language and shit?
Yeah, like obviously there are the type of people who are not interested in travel. You know, it's fine, right? But I think if you're listening to our podcast, that means that you like Japan at least, and that you're curious.
Exactly. Yeah.
That you're like, we're talking to people probably similar to us that like traveling, right?
Yep.
So you mentioned language.
Yes.
So what are some Japanese specific reasons why they don't want to travel? They're afraid to travel. Language, you think is like number one?
Language is the number one for sure.
So language in terms of what, like they're afraid of not being able to communicate.
They're afraid of, being, like can't understand each other. And you know, because Japanese people in a way they're like perfectionists.
Okay.
So if they can't speak and they feel bad.
So like, oh, okay, I get it.
You know what I mean? And also they feel shame.
Okay.
恥ずかしい.
Uh-huh.
So I think some people, for sure my parents, my dad, he doesn't want to go anywhere except Japan because how he get stressed with that, like can't communicate. And then I think like he's not gonna ask anything. So would you do that? And then he think, no, why I need to put myself in that situation? And then that's understandable, right?
Yeah.
So I think like that's a lot for Japanese people who doesn't have a passport.
I think that's I like that experience, like you know, needing to adapt and not necessarily understanding each other fully, but finding different ways to get your point across or communicate. Body language, broken different types of languages, you know, pointing. But now you have like phones.
Yeah,
you know, it's a lot easier. Like,
and also I think Japan is like, I'll say like 95% is like Japanese people.
Yeah.
We're not multicultural at all. So that makes them, again, how do I gonna communicate with other people?
So if like being in a country that is more multicultural,
like Canada here,
you are exposed to different cultures more, not as afraid of interacting with them, and more likely to want to travel to that country from wherever you're from, right?
Yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, Japan is,
So I think that's why the language is really matter for them.
And I feel like Japan, they're really afraid of anything that is like different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's
like
really unique culture.
Like, they're actually like, I think they're actually scared, right?
To
like
get out from that culture.
Just they're scared to interact with anyone that's different, even within Japan, like the subcultures.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
They're afraid to talk to.
Yeah, because everybody's the same.
Exactly. Should be same. Exactly.
And if you decide to go other country, that means you need to know will be completely different.
There's like a statistic in Japan that like there hasn't been pay raises for the last like 30 years or something like that, right?
Crazy.
So the government is encouraging companies to, you know, give pay raises or whatever. But that also has something to do with it, right? Work.
Yeah.
The Japanese work culture. Not only do you have to work a long time, but inflation kind of hasn't really hit Japan until recently. Like you can still buy lunch for $5
Yeah,
there,
definitely,
right? So it kind of matches with the income. But internationally, like
you're way behind.
You're way behind. So maybe like, yeah, you don't make enough to go travel, right? I can understand.
That's also one thing,
right?
Yes.
We're kind of like speaking to like maybe people under 30 more, right? Where you're young enough where you don't have like really deep roots yet that you can travel, preferably like even like live abroad. So maybe like students, right? Did you know anyone in Japan that went to like a semester abroad?
Yeah.
University, right?
Yeah.
That's common, right?
Yeah, that's common. Even though like summer holiday, the high school student go to homestay. Like my sister did.
Yeah, homestay is like a common thing in Asia.
I think she went like a couple weeks.
But you're always like in the middle of nowhere in America.
But she went to Australia.
Okay.
Because it's closed.
And was it in the middle of nowhere?
I don't remember anything because I think I was too happy. I don't have her for 3 weeks in my house.
It was only 3 weeks? Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Better than nothing though, right? Like
yeah, for sure. That time I remember she brought English, wrote down newspapers and then she put on the wall. She made the wallpaper.
Because it's like cool because it's in English?
Exactly. And then I thought, wow, that's cool. Then I tried to put my Japanese newspaper and it was like...
So if she never did this homestay when you were that young, do you think maybe you would not think of traveling even more and not been living here? So... Because being that young and seeing it, it's an option.
At that time?
Yeah.
Again, like we have a good relationship. I would say we always have good relationship in a way, but at teenage point, we always fight. So
that's normal.
Yeah. That trip I really don't remember, and I never. That didn't give me anything.
Oh, okay.
To go abroad. That was like nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I remember she's the one always more interested in other culture. I was like, I'm not gonna know anything. I was more into bike.
You were focusing on your gang.
No.
So yeah, work culture. We mentioned it before. Like it's so hard to take holiday anyway, right? But I think there's that like sweet like time in your life, maybe. After high school or after university, before you really feel the pressure to have a salary paying job, to like take that time and travel, right? You don't know what's gonna happen in that, I don't know, year or however long you travel. Things can change, right? The beauty of traveling is that the opportunities that you have growing up in a country might be like limited compared to if you travel to experience other things. you might have a stream of income in another country or find, different ways. So even after you travel for that year and you go back to Japan, it's not like, okay, it might not necessarily be the case where like, okay, I'm going to be a salary person now, right?
Yeah. That for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You'll find different ways, different opportunities to make money, right? But other than money, just the experience of traveling, right?
Yeah.
Experiencing new
to
cultures.
see other cultures.
Exactly.
To even hear other language.
And it helps you when you go back to Japan to be more open-minded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And to seek out different cultures. I think it's a good thing to like learn about other cultures. It's not a negative thing at all.
Because
right?
you go out, that means you can see Japan from outside of Japan.
Yes.
That view is totally different than like you're always in Japan and then like, oh, Japan is good. We have everything, But
when you step back,
exactly, you see more. And
good or bad.
Yeah. And that makes you more, there's so many good things about Japan, or like there's so many good things about my own country. You know what I mean? And
I think the ability specifically for Japanese people, the ability that you get from traveling, the ability of a fresh start, a chance that you can have a fresh start. Right? You're not stuck in the common Japanese way of growing up, right? You can reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you're scared to try this type of subculture, or like you wanna experience these interests in Japan, but you can't.
Yeah.
You're afraid of what other people think of you, the judgment.
Yeah.
But being away in a different environment, you can reinvent yourself and you can find yourself. I think you can. The best way to find yourself is being alone in a different country. Right? Being close to friends, family that you grew up with, it's hard to find yourself because you're together.
Exactly.
Right?
And then because of like totally...
and also maybe hardships too. You haven't experienced difficult things.
Yeah. For
abroad,
sure.
Right?
Because like in Japan, it's always like you trying to not make mistake. You always go like the okay line.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But like abroad, other country, there's no way you are
gonna be
perfect.
No, you're gonna be making mistakes. Yeah,
exactly. But like to
opportunity to grow.
Yeah. To do that and then like became stronger personality by yourself, I think you get more like confidence. And then that's also good things as a Japanese, because like so many Japanese people are not have any confidence.
Lack confidence. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we've worked with a few working holiday Japanese people, and I feel like the personality, if you think about when you first met them, the first week to the end of the year,
different.
Their personality is so
different. And
I think different in a good way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Different. You're more worldly. You're not. I don't want to say like being Japanese is like a bad thing, but being less Japanese is a good thing.
For sure.
Right?
I mean, like,
right?
Because no matter what, if you're born in Japan and then grow up in Japan about like 20 years, you're Japanese. Like you have all Japanese.
Yes.
Like system.
Yeah. Your system's Japanese. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So,
but if you can add different systems in it, it just upgrade, right?
Exactly.
You're just getting better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Food. You get to try different food. I feel like Japanese, there are different cultures food you can find in Japan, but somehow it's still kind of Japanese.
Yes. Yeah, because my palate now, I can say it's completely different now than when I arrived here.
Exactly.
Like first month.
I mean, Japanese food is great,
I know.
Delicious, but you just want to experience different foods.
You just need to experience, and also you need to understand, and you need to eat with all different culture people.
Yes.
Because like Japanese people eat rice with something good for rice and soup, and then like bunch of side
I feel like
dish.
Japanese food doesn't have many spices.
Exactly.
Right. So
normally soy sauce with something, right?
yeah. Exactly.
Or miso or whatever.
Yes.
But like
different flavorings,
spice and like more like exotic herbs and fruits and then all different flavors. I was shocked. Some of them I couldn't eat at beginning.
Of course.
But like again, like I couldn't eat spicy food. But my one of best Korean friend, I was hanging out with them all day, every day at some point. I could start eating spicy food.
Okay.
And then like coriander. I think so many Japanese people didn't like coriander. But now because there was a boom.
A coriander boom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It became like really popular?
Became really popular. But before then, no one eats coriander because we have same there's an insect
okay
has exactly same smell as coriander.
Oh.
We call kamemushi, and it's so stinky.
Okay.
So
but some people say that like coriander, cilantro tastes like soap to them. I think there's like 10% of like the population that tastes soap.
Yeah. But
so
like
I thought it was like something like that, but no, it's because of a sticky bug.
Yes, exactly. But because of I abroad, then coriander is like normal here. Like if you go Mexican food, if you go other Asian food, it's normal, and then you get used to it. Then now I like it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's just how tastes work, right?
Yeah.
So experiencing new tastes. Developing friendships with other cultures.
That's really important, and it's really difficult. But you can't give up on this.
That's like the best part, right?
This is the best part. Like
also going further, like dating, relationships, experiencing dating from people from different cultures, like. It's really like so necessary.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Like I guess it's like bad to say. Well, maybe I don't know. But when living abroad and traveling, I made it a point to like try to collect as many flags as possible. Like date as many different cultures as possible. Just because like you think you know a culture and then it's like, oh, you know nothing about it actually, right?
Yeah. That's true.
Right. Like it's just like. That moment of like thinking you go into it thinking you know something about a culture and then not knowing at all is so fun.
Yeah, like the relationship, it's not just friendship, right? There's like the sex relationship also actually
different styles
really important, and then like without knowing that or you knew this, it's different. It's really different.
And I feel like this particularly, I feel bad for like, you know, there's just good things too, right? Like being married to your high school sweetheart. Like it's the only person you've ever.
Of course,
you know, that's kind of romantic too, right?
Yeah.
But like, I wish more people dated more before getting married, or if you don't believe in marriage, it's fine. But like before settling down with a partner,
yeah.
Not only multiple partners, but I feel like you should date like different cultures, man. Like it just makes you, to me, a better person, more open-minded, less judgmental, more humble.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I go into it thinking I know something about it and actually don't. So it's like, that's a moment of humbleness, right? Or like not being able to communicate.
But that's the issue for Japanese people, because like I was like that, but I couldn't speak any English, right? When I brought here first year, I mean like until like second year I still couldn't speak perfect English even now, but I always put myself into her like
situations.
The situation. Yeah. Why? Because like if I don't push myself, who's gonna do it? They're not gonna speak to me forever. But I want it. It's hard. I remember one time we had a house party. My coworker invited me. They're Canadians. I couldn't speak English, but they still invite me. I'm like, that's good. I'll definitely gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we had a good time. But at some point, I noticed that like they talk to me, but because we drink and high and everything, right? And they talk to me, but because I don't know what to say, what happened next is like they start avoiding me. But it's not avoiding, actually. It's just
you can't continue the conversation, right?
Exactly.
So it just becomes one-sided, and it's like not as fun.
Yeah. So I start feeling kind of like, oh, what should I do? It's kind of like, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna go home. I think that time I went home. But I learned, and I remember what they were talking. Whatever I remember the word, I just keep repeating like
so cute
whatever blah 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 because next time I want to say that word so he can talk to me a little bit more.
When I first moved to a country or travel, if I so happen to meet people and get invited to go places, I always say yes.
Right?
But like being at home I feel like I'm more introverted, and I will say no to go out with people more often than not. But you have to force yourself to say yes to, because you want to gather as many friends, as many connections, as many experiences as you want. Because being abroad, it might be a short time. You don't know what reasons back home that you might have to go back. Right. So you want to like fill it with maximum. Try to, right? That is. You just need to. Isn't there like a saying like there's no growth in the comfort zone or something like that? Like you can't grow in your comfort zone, right? So yes, it's kind of hard to, but I think buying that ticket and going on that plane, that's like already like a big step. And once you're there, you're automatically not in your comfort zone, right? So it's just growth. You're just collecting growth. You're just getting experience points.
But like when I was like one day I was hanging out with my friend, Canadian friend, and then he invite this Japanese girl who can speak English. I mean, who could speak English. But so if there's only Japanese people, I can speak Japanese. But if there's even one non-Japanese speaker, I always speak English because I think it's super rude. One doesn't understand. So I keep speaking English that time. And then my girlfriend speaks English too because like my friend is there. But then she keeps speaking Japanese.
Oh, that's rude.
Right? And then I was like, speak English.
But you can speak English?
I say then speak English, and then she goes like, I can't because hazukashi. Because you guys here. If just my friend, it's okay because there's no way they can communicate, right? But
because
we are Japanese here. And then she doesn't feel she want to speak English in front of other Japanese people.
It's rude, like, but I can understand. Like, but there's no growth going on there.
Yeah, and I was like, why? My English is perfect. Never. Like, look at me. This is my fucking English.
But she thought it was like, oh, jazu.
She's like, no.
But was it good though?
And then and then at the end she speaks English and it's fine. And I'm like, see, you can speak English.
Oh, that's because she didn't finish her first drink yet. You just need to feed her more alcohol.
I guess. But yeah, that's other thing about Japanese people.
Uh-huh.
Like in between Japanese and Japanese, no matter what, they're trying to speak Japanese. Then I always trying to avoid that because I don't feel comfortable.
Why? Because you're abroad?
Well, because there's other people, they don't.
Well, if there's no other people.
Oh, then yes. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
okay.
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 That's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I feel like, I mean, I appreciate it when I'm in situations like that, and I feel bad that I don't know a language enough. But like, I feel like when everyone is forced to speak English on my behalf, I kind of feel bad too, right? So like, you feel like you got to try harder, right?
Yeah.
Or just don't talk and just listen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're Japanese under 30, because I think 30 is, or 32 max, or some 35, I think, countries offer working holiday visas, right? Like if you're under 30 or whatever, and you can apply for a working holiday visa.
Yep.
You can go to a country and be able to work, maybe not necessarily full time, but enough to like experience that country, right?
Yeah.
And Japan, there's actually a lot of countries that you can go to. I think with these like agreements, that also means that like those nationalities can have working holiday visas in Japan as well. But like, I'm just gonna quickly run through them. But if you're listening and you're Japanese and you are thinking like, oh, how am I going to travel? Right? Like this is a very, very good way, like a working holiday visa.
Definitely, because that's
and also,
how I start.
Right? And also it will make you work a job that you never thought you would do, maybe. Right? Just because lack of opportunities, lack of language knowledge, you're in a new country, right? You have a working holiday visa, you can only work part-time or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you never thought about working in a restaurant, but because you moved to Canada, you have to work in a restaurant. You find that you really like it or you don't, but either way, you're experiencing different jobs. That's also a thing that I feel bad about. People that has only done one job for the whole life. I feel bad, right? Like, maybe you're rich and you feel bad about me or you're super successful, right? But, you know, I wish like it just adds more experiences to you. It makes you more well-rounded,
for sure,
right?
You change new job and then you get new things.
For example, you always see videos on the internet where people are really rude to customer service staff. Right? But if you have worked customer service in any capacity, maybe you wouldn't be rude. I mean, being rude is always a bad thing, right? So
yeah.
Right? But okay, quickly run down these countries. Iceland, Chile, Czech Republic, Argentina, Spain, Hungary, Austria, Slovakia, Poland, Portugal, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Norway, Denmark, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Korea, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. So you can visit any continent pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to be interested in like only English speaking countries. No, English speaking countries to me are actually boring. There's not much culture. They're too young. Canada is too young. Australia is too young. America is too young to have any deep culture, right? The culture is multiculturalism. But if you're interested in more like ancient cultures or different languages, I'm not telling you to be interested in English. You know, you can go to Austria. You can go to the Czech Republic. You can go to Spain.
Did you use this as a Canadian? You didn't?
No, I didn't do working holiday visa.
Okay.
No,
but you could, right?
I could have, but I used the fact that I wanted to travel to countries where like I could get a job teaching English.
Right.
That's so true. Working holiday visa limits you because most of the time you can only work part-time. That would not have been enough money for me. Right?
I think so.
I think sometimes some visas it's like you can work full time but only 6 months.
This system is depending on the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every deal. So these countries I listed, you can go there on a working holiday visa, but the different rules
and then the number of people
is allowed. Yeah, it's just all different. But sometimes it's like a lottery system to get it. Right. But normally like 30 years old is like the cutoff. So if you're under 30, like highly advise it. I advise all my friends, and I think it might be annoying for them, right? But like moving back here, working in a new industry, being in the kitchen, I met a lot of people that were way younger than me.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't necessarily meet, right? And hearing their stories and how they like grew up in Canada, and me, I mean, I'm not the most well-traveled person in the world, but like I've traveled. I know what it feels like, the experiences, the positive things you gain from traveling. I'm always like telling these people that are younger than me, yo, under 30? Yo, working holiday visa, do something. I taught English because it was like an easy way to make money and it allowed me to travel into the countries that I wanted to, right? But if you're not interested in teaching English, fine, whatever. You can work anywhere with a working holiday visa, right? It's probably better to go to a country not teaching the language that you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my work environment is all English, right?
Exactly.
If I got a working holiday visa to move to Japan and I had to work somewhere else, not teaching English, you know, it would have been maybe more immersive, better experience, right? But halfway through, that's why I knew like I'm here in Japan, but I'm not experiencing enough of Japanese culture. On the weekends, I would go to the gaijin pubs, right? I'd meet up with other gaijin friends, right? The people you meet that are Japanese have either traveled abroad or can speak English. So that's why I forced myself like, okay, I need to get a job. Speaking
somewhere
that
local.
only speaks Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So luckily, I got hired at a bar, but if not, I might have not continued traveling.
Right, because like, why I have to do
why am I
this,
going to
right?
different countries and only interacting in English anyway?
Yeah. Because that's why
it was a good thing because I learned a lot about Australians, like English people.
Okay.
Right, because you're in Japan. My number one thing is, okay, I need to be able to speak English with you. Not everyone's from Canada, right? So I met Americans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even within the same language, you can meet other people. For Japanese, it's a bit different, right?
Japanese is already normally only Japanese. So
exactly.
But yeah, like I was working, I started working in a kitchen and then that helps me a lot.
Yeah, right.
Even I was zero English.
Also because like a kitchen is not a formal environment.
Exactly.
You can shit talk.
Exactly.
The best way to learn is like shit talk. Street level Japanese, the best way to learn. Right?
Yeah. And then that's how I get my English mostly. I mean like everything.
Do you know any Nikkei jeans?
The second generation or third?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, Nikkei jeans are the Japanese diaspora. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. So generational Japanese, like blood heritage, but essentially, if you're 2 or 3 generations been in Canada, you're more Canadian than Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Right. But the Japanese diaspora is big. I think around 4 million around the world.
Okay.
That are like, I think it counts even if you're maybe first, generation, but like you are living there. Like you hold that passport.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think that is like a main thing.
Yeah.
Guess what are the top? Guess what are the top 5 countries that have
Nikkei Jin?
Yeah, Nikkei Jin. Yeah.
I know first one for sure. It's Brazil.
That's right. 2 million.
Yes.
Second,
America.
Yep. Second, America, and then America is like 1.5 mil.
Okay.
And then it drops off a lot. Mainland China, 140,000. Philippines, 120,000.
Philippines.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Canada, 110,000.
Me.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I think
you don't have the passport.
You're
still Japanese.
Yes.
But remember when we were working and we there'd be like these old Japanese people that would come in, but they didn't speak Japanese. They only spoke English. So I think those are like from the generation of like the people that came over from the war.
Right.
right? Like they even might have not even been to Japan before, but they're Japanese, but they're like fully Canadian.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these numbers or these people are like maybe older generation, right? I feel like younger people in Japan have, because of the war, a lot of people like went, right? Because of like lack of opportunities, a lot of people went to Brazil to work, right? But now I feel like it's gone back where like Japanese people don't really necessarily move abroad. If they do, it's not for like job opportunities. It's for like, I don't agree with the Japanese government, or I don't agree with
education system.
I don't feel comfortable to be myself within Japanese society, right?
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of women now are moving away from Japan because of they don't like the Japanese standards
about female.
Exactly, right? So like they want to get away from the obligation or the pressure that you have from family and society, right? So I think a lot of people, Japanese people, are moving for those reasons too.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like also I've met a lot of Japanese people abroad that if I meet them abroad, there's more chance for you to be like different. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like sexuality is one thing. I feel like if I met you in Japan, you wouldn't be as comfortable in your own skin as you are now that I'm meeting you in Canada. They're more able to be themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like in Japan, you might not be open to tell people that you're gay, but over here,
you can.
Exactly, right?
Everybody,
so you can be yourself, right?
Yeah, that's really important and necessary.
Right, you gotta go to a country where you feel like just because you're born there doesn't mean that you have to stay there, right? Like, you know, obviously lack of opportunities, but different circumstances, right? Different family obligations. And
I also read one article after the the tsunami.
Okay, yeah.
After that, like bunch of people decide to leave Japan.
It's too dangerous in Japan. Earthquakes, tsunamis. Yeah, fair enough.
Because like, well, the people still saying that there's gonna be like couple like big earthquakes coming, and then everybody's talking about the Mount Fuji when it's gonna you know happen. And so some people, that article said some people moved to Australia.
Okay.
Because it's same timeline. Yeah. I didn't know, but they don't have any nuclear power plant.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Australia.
And then they also do their agriculture system is really good, so they can provide their own food. So I think the smart people, they research a lot, and then they decide to move somewhere.
I think you can also get like student visas if you like join language schools. I know there's like a lot of language schools here that as long as you are able and willing to pay for the tuition, you can study a language in that country and stay there for like a longer period of time, right?
Yeah.
And then from that, maybe you can apply to like be able to work or whatever, work visa,
something.
right?
Yeah, that's also one option.
But I think that's an expensive option because you got to pay for tuition, right?
And I think you can work like only part-time or whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, that's why kind of targeting people that are like under 30 because like you're young enough to like, it's not the end of the world if like you don't make much money, right?
Yeah, exactly. More experience. Yeah, you shouldn't like. You need to get more experience when you're young, because like
it's harder.
You're not afraid too much.
Exactly.
Compared to like when you're getting old.
Well, like now, by the end of the year, I'll be moving to Spain, right?
Yes.
it's more worrying to me now. Like I
Because
never
you think more.
exactly. I never was like afraid traveling or living in different countries before, but now like as you're older, like I feel that like it's harder for me to adapt now. But yeah, never stop try to never stop traveling, right?
Yeah.
My thing being when I was young is that I couldn't afford to go on vacation all the time.
That's true.
But the best way was, okay, I can work in that country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then also it doesn't give me as much pressure to like when you go on vacation a week, 2 weeks, whatever, you see the same sites, the tourist attractions, you eat the touristy food. And then what? You go back home and you expect that like, oh, I got a good idea of how Mexico was. I got a good idea of how Portugal was, right? No, you know nothing.
No.
Right? You ate at places, you saw places where locals don't even see or go.
I know. That's right. Also one thing. Like Japanese people has like they don't have long vacation.
Yes,
so like
exactly. It's hard.
Normally maximum like 9 days or whatever. And then like we were like me and my partner, we were watching some YouTube from these Japanese comedians. They say they get days off, so they travel.
Yeah.
Like go this country for 2 days and then next country for 1 day and then boom 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 and then
You're
like
not seeing anything.
I went 5 countries, but like
yeah, you went 5 countries. You have
but
those
that's
stamps.
it.
But like you didn't. It doesn't count in terms of your experience.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
You're one of your best friends recently moved to New York, right? Japanese guy, New York.
Yeah.
And when you're telling me this story, it's like from the airport, go over the Brooklyn Bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
He started tearing up.
Yeah.
Because like he felt like, okay, I finally like got this experience, right?
Exactly.
Being able to work abroad, and also the allure of New York City, right?
Yes.
Capital of the world.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like
you obviously see many times on a movie, TV show, or whatever.
And now you're there, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand that emotion, right? And to me, it's like more commendable for your friend because he is Japanese. We know how closed-minded and like afraid and how Japanese people can worry so much and be afraid to make that jump, but he did it, and that's you can you know, like that's something to be really proud of.
Yeah, right? And I when because he always trying to get there, but like one time he
like
failed.
he's applied many times.
Okay. He failed one time.
That's cool that he tried again. That's even better, right?
He tried and then he did it, and I was like, man, seriously, like,
yeah,
I don't even know if I can do it because like,
is he our age?
Yes, same age.
Yeah, it's tough. Older,
yeah,
right? If
I'm
you're
like,
younger, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I was young when I abroad here, but you
like,
is different.
Like there's a investment strategy, right? The younger you are, you can invest in more riskier things, right? Because you have more time in your life to make that money back up, right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing, right? With traveling, right? You have time to make that money. Like I mentioned it before, like when I went to travel after university and I came back after living in Japan for 2 years and traveling, coming back, I felt like, oh, I'm like a couple steps behind in terms of my friends in their work life.
Yeah.
Right? In their careers, right? So that is something you need to think about, but over time you can make that up, right?
You can always make it up, and also for me, it's like that's them. Like, why you even care about others? Like,
exactly.
Whenever you are happy, you should do that, even though financially there's something, no same than your friends. Like, I would say, like, my friends make more money.
I think traveling makes you care less about like money or like superficial materialistic objects, right? Like you focus more on collecting memories and experiences.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like people that have never traveled abroad, stayed in their country, in their home, their whole life, they have nice things.
Yeah. But you want it?
Right? Like it's at the end of the day, you can't take it with you, and like
Exactly.
it sits there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's expensive. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like but I think because everyone has a need to like feel good, right? To fill a hole. We fill our holes with experiences. Maybe they fill their holes with, I don't know, buying a watch or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, like you said, people are different, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like people that are listening to our podcast can take something away from this, right?
Yeah.
And maybe agree with us, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I have one more friends too. He's same age as us. And then he moved to Thai. He has some connection in Thai, but obviously like he actually moved right now.
Yeah. I think Bangkok has it's the third city with the most Japanese people.
Oh really?
Like residents, not passport holders. Yeah. When living in Bangkok, there's so many J towns.
Oh really?
Yeah, so many.
So it's good to live.
For Japanese people, I think you make good money. I think a lot of the companies, if you want to work in Thailand, I think a lot of the companies hire Japanese and bring them over.
Oh,
that's another thing that might give you hope if you're a Japanese person and you're thinking about what can I do work-wise traveling abroad. Japanese companies in other countries love to hire other Japanese people.
That's true.
Right? They love it so much that they're willing to sponsor a visa for you to come over, right?
Right.
So you don't have to be afraid of like, oh, I can only work part-time, or that's also an option. Finding a Japanese company that has offices or a footprint in the country you want to visit and try to get a job through there.
Yeah, that's true.
There's Japanese companies everywhere.
I think
not even just like has to be big company. It can be like a restaurant.
Yes, I actually see more advertisements because after COVID, so many working holiday like student people they left.
Yeah.
So like, but also restaurant was shut it down.
Yeah.
So like they lost bunch of like labor, but now they need to bring back, right? Because business is as usual now, but they don't have enough people. So bunch of restaurants, even companies in outside of Japan, other countries, they are hiring, and then they, like you say, they do all the support. So
didn't we like joke about it? Like because during COVID, the Japanese restaurants I would go to, I noticed that the level of service dropped so bad.
Really?
And because they couldn't hire Japanese people. The Japanese level of service is way higher, right?
Oh my god!
Because all the Japanese people left, so they're hiring either locals.
Right.
I mean, the customer service is fine, but if I go to a Japanese place that I've been there before and I go there knowing that they have good service there and you don't get it, you really saw the difference, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot of job opportunities for Japanese people in Japanese companies. Again, it kind of sucks that a lot of those Japanese companies you'd probably end up speaking Japanese, but at least you're abroad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, I think that's it. And also, of course, like for non-Japanese people who wants to travel anywhere, basically it's the same thing, right? If you never been that place and then you really want to go, or like you just want to get out from your country and learn or get new experience, it's really good. You should do it.
Especially if you're not from a big city. If you're a big city, you know, I have different cultures around me. You know, people from big cities think that they have everything around them and they might feel like they don't need to move. But like people from like rural places or small towns, oh man, I feel like they benefit the most when living abroad or traveling abroad,
true.
right?
Yeah.
It's like way different.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you enjoyed this conversation about, you know, traveling abroad, trying to motivate people to live abroad, and if you want to hear more tips on how to do so, let us know, and we'll have more episodes like this.
はい。
Other than that, thank you for listening as usual.
Thank you. ありがとう。
またね。バイバイ。
またね。バイバイ。